Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing a brand new eye and cheek palette from Buxom. It is this Tiki Bar palette. If this is something you are interested in hearing a little bit more about, then make sure you keep on watching, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Let's talk about this palette, folks, because I've got some thoughts. First and foremost, I want to put it out there that I have never purchased anything from Buxom before. I don't have any of their lip glosses, complexion products, eyeshadows, zilch. It's just not a brand that I've ever explored. However, during the Sephora sale, this palette did catch my eye because I thought, how cute would this be for the summer? Given that I've only recently got this palette into my hands, I've only played with it a couple of times meaning yesterday and today. Even though I've only played with it a couple of times, I do have some thoughts because I know what I like and I know what I don't like when it comes to palettes. In terms of the packaging, there's no surprises there. I think it's really cute that they've got Tiki Bar elements to it, obviously bamboo, some dried grass on top. It looks really cute. I think the box is adorable. On the back, you've got your palette composition, so all of your eyeshadows, your complexion products, your formulation is down there. For anyone who is curious, this palette is made in the US and it's got a shelf life of 12 months. It is not a vegan palette, as carmine is one of the ingredients in here, and as per usual, make sure you patch test these eyeshadows and complexion products before you smear them all over your face, just in case. In terms of those pesky ingredients, I noticed it's just the usual suspects. Titanium dioxide is in there, ultramarines is in there, and so is carmine, like I mentioned earlier. So there's nothing in here that is out of the ordinary that you would expect for an eyeshadow formula or for complexion products. The back of the box does give you a very short description of what you should expect from this palette, and it reads, "Bring the heat with this Tiki Bar inspired palette packed with primer infused color for face and eyes. Mix up a signature sultry look with 6 eyeshadows, a new shade of highlighter, and our best selling blush," which in this case seems to be Seychelles. So it's cool that you get a brand new highlighter. I'm not sure if any of these eyeshadows are already existing colors from Buxom or if they are exclusive to this particular palette. When you take the palette out of the box, this is what you get. It is your standard cardboard palette with a magnetic closure. You do have a mirror on the inside, which is always much appreciated. And then when you open up the palette, this is what you get. So you've got your 6 eyeshadows here and your 2 complexion products. The first observation that I have about this particular palette is just how little product you're getting, as well as the layout of the palette itself. I feel like you could have incorporated 2 additional shadows in here, and you probably could have added an extra complexion product. I'm thinking a bronzer, and that could have made this a really great all-in-one palette, which is something that I do look for when it comes to eye and cheek palettes. Each of these particular eyeshadows only contain 0.03 ounces of product, which is so little product. It just makes me so sad. And I should also say, each of the complexion products here, so both the highlighter and the blush, are only 1.1 ounces of product. Very, very little. For 51 Canadian dollars, I definitely expect more product. I'm really passionate about getting the best value out of my products, and I just feel like this falls short on that. I think for somebody maybe just starting out in makeup who may not have a lot of different palettes they want to use, you just want to invest in one particular palette, this may be something you want to consider spending some money on. I still think you can get some great use out of it. However, there are other products out there that I think can offer you a lot more value. Moving along to formulations and wear. So let's talk about the eyeshadows first. For me, they were just lackluster at best. I think these 2 middle shades here, so Summer Fling and Sippin', they're just too similar in tone for me. I wish there was just a little more variety of color in here. This sort of pinky metallic color was a really nice addition. I think that looks really pretty on the eyes, but you know, that's about the only exciting foil that's in here. The 2 shadows that I really enjoyed using in here are these 2 over on this side. So Tan Lines, which is the only matte color. I should also say they probably should have included another another deeper sort of brown matte color in here, you probably could have created some more looks. Nevertheless, Tan Lines is a beautiful transition shade. I think it looks awesome blended out in the crease. I think you can put it all over your eyes for a very easy one and done sort of look. Throwing Shade, which is the deepest color in this palette, is stunning. It is a very, I'd probably describe it as a deep brown color. It is on the matte side, however, it does have glitter particles in it. There's gold and green glitter, which gives it this beautiful sheen. I actually put this shadow on my eye last night just to see how it would wear, and it is stunning. I wish these two shades paired better together. I guess if you're in a pinch, you can use this as a transition color, but if I'm being honest, I would just use Throwing Shade on its own, and I would buff it out to just give it that more blended look. In terms of application, for the foiled shades, the only way you are gonna get any color payoff is if you use your fingers. I tried a synthetic brush, I tried a natural hair brush, and both of them were just meh in terms of picking up pigment. There was also a little bit of kick up in the pan because I really had to dig my brush in there to get some product. Tan Lines applies beautifully with a brush. You definitely don't need your finger to apply that one. And Throwing Shade, you can either apply that with your finger or with a brush. My preference is a brush. It did pick up well and it did apply well onto my eye. I'm going to insert a very quick tutorial now on how I created the look I got right now, just using the eyeshadows in this particular palette. I want you to see how they applied, and I want you to let me know in the comments what you think of the application. So, what did you think? I mean, they're nice, but I've had better. It just sounds really vulgar to say, but I've just worked with better eyeshadow products. It's not that this formulation is awful. It does feel really nice, buttery, it blends out, but I like working with shadows that are a little more pigmented, a little more dynamic. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I like to play with color, and this is probably one of the most subtle color palettes that I've used in a really long time. Moving on to the complexion products, I applied the blush flawlessly. I think it is a beautiful color. It does have a little bit of sheen to it, but the tone of it is stunning. On my skin tone, I think it looks really beautiful. I did use a Real Techniques brush to apply it. This is just one of their regular blush brushes. There was a lot of kick up in the pan, so that's the one thing I am gonna warn you about. I'd say tap off your brush so you don't go in super hardcore with pigment, because I do think that blush does pack a lot of pigment. In terms of the highlighter, I used my Morphe M510 highlighting brush to apply, and I think it went on really nicely. I like these types of highlighters because they are not glittery in formulation. They're designed to just give you a really nice sort of pearlized effect, a really nice glow or sheen. And for somebody who has textured skin, I think that is one of the only highlighter formulations that I can wear because it doesn't accentuate my texture. For my particular skin tone, I think the highlighter works. I'm not sure what it would look like on others, but it is a much more lighter gold tone highlighter. So now we come to the nitty gritty. Here's the real tea on this particular palette. Would I recommend it? No, I don't think I would. I am going to be returning it to the store because number one, I don't think it's really good value for what I paid for it. Number two, I don't really really like the tones of the eyeshadows in here. They're just too similar to each other. There's not enough variety. And number three, this is not an all-in-one palette for me. I have other palettes that I can turn to that will give me a one and done sort of effect. This palette just doesn't do it for me. I know I just put a lot of negative energy out there. Let me put some positive stuff out there as well, because this is not a horrible palette. It's just not a palette that is gonna work for me. I think the eyeshadow formulation is nice. It does blend out really well. The smell of it is really cute. It does smell like cocoa. I think the formula of the eyeshadows is really nice. It does blend out well. It feels very buttery, creamy. In terms of wear time, it does wear relatively well. I wanted to give you guys a quick idea of how my eyeshadow looks about 5 hours into application. So far, no creasing. Still looks all right. The complexion products are, I think, the surprise hit of this whole palette for me. I think they are beautiful. The highlighter, great formula. I love the tone of the blush. I think it looks beautiful. Like I said earlier, it's not an awful palette, but I just think we can do better. And that's my review of this particular palette. I am excited to hear from you though. Please let me know in the comments what you think of this particular eyeshadow and cheek palette. Is it something that you would invest in? Do you already have it? If you do, let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for watching this review. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know the drill. Please give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're in the mood to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can always do that by following me on all of my social media, which will be linked for you down below. Thank you again for watching. I hope you are all having a fantabulous day, no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!